In the dark heart of Transylvania, a figure wandered the ruins of castles and forests under the pale glow of the moon. His name was Lucian, a vampire unlike any other. While his kind lived for centuries and eventually withered into shadows or dust, Lucian was different. He could not die by no stake, no fire, no sunlight. Time passed, but his skin never withered and his heart never stopped. At first, this gift seemed like the ultimate power. He had survived battles, fires, hunters, and the wrath of nature. But over the centuries, he realized it was not a gift at all. It was a curse. The world around him aged, kingdoms fell, lovers turned to dust in his arms, and he remained, unchanging, untouched, unending. One night, standing atop the ruins of Bran Castle, Lucian whispered into the wind, "Why me? What sin have I committed that even death refuses to claim me?" The silence gave no answer, but in the depths of his heart, Lucian felt that his immortality was tied to a forgotten curse, one written in blood long before he was even born. Deep within the forests, Lucian stumbled upon an ancient monastery where monks had preserved texts older than the land itself. Among the manuscripts, he found mention of the Crimson One, a vampire fated never to die, cursed to wander until the world's last breath. The prophecy spoke of blood spilled under a blood moon, binding a soul to eternity. Lucian remembered the night of his transformation. He was not bitten willingly. He had been sacrificed. Centuries ago, a coven of witches had chosen him for their dark ritual. His blood, spilled under the blood moon, had sealed his fate. He was no longer merely a vampire. He was the vessel of immortality. But the prophecy held a final line, half faded with time. Only in the place where night and day embrace shall the immortal find release. The words tormented Lucian. Where could such a place exist? What did it mean to find release? Death? Redemption? Or something even darker? Lucian's journey carried him across continents. He walked through the burning sands of Egypt, the frozen tundras of Siberia, and the crowded streets of Rome where he once stood centuries before. He saw empires rise and collapse, languages born and forgotten, but nothing could erase the loneliness that shadowed him. He tried to love again, once in Paris. He met a woman named Elise, a painter who captured eternity in her art. She reminded him of light in his endless night. But as years passed, she aged and he did not. Eventually, she too lay in a coffin, leaving Lucian to mourn once more. The pain grew unbearable. He realized he could not form attachments. Love was fleeting, but his eternity was not. He became a shadow in history, a whisper of myths, a nameless ghost in countless towns. Humanity moved forward, but he was chained to the past. Not everyone saw Lucian as a ghost. To vampire hunters, he was a legend, the vampire who could not die. Entire bloodlines of hunters devoted themselves to seeking him, believing that destroying him would grant them eternal glory. One fateful night in London, 1890, he was ambushed by a group of hunters armed with silver, fire, and sacred relics. They fought fiercely, and Lucian, though weary of fighting, defended himself with the power centuries had given him. One by one, the hunters fell. Yet even as they died, their leader spat his final words. "You'll never escape us. We will return generation after generation, until even eternity despises you." Lucian felt no triumph, only sorrow. Every battle added more blood to his hands, more souls tied to his cursed existence. He began to wonder. Perhaps the prophecy's release wasn't death, it was forgiveness. In the modern age, Lucian arrived at a city unlike any he had seen before, an endless sprawl of glass towers, neon lights, and restless souls. New York City. Here, he blended easily into the crowd, just another stranger in a sea of millions. But the city was also home to secrets. Deep in its underground, a hidden society of witches thrived. Lucian sought them, desperate for answers. When he found their circle, their leader, a woman named Celine, recognized him immediately. "You are the Crimson One," she said, her voice trembling. "The prophecy lives in you." Celine revealed that the place where night and day embrace was not a physical location, but a moment, a fleeting instant when opposites touch. Twilight, the balance of light and shadow. To break his curse, Lucian would have offered his own blood willingly. Under the twilight sky, Not to witches, not to hunters, but to one who loved him enough to take it. For the first time in centuries, hope stirred within him. But where would he find such love again? Fate has strange ways. In that vast city, Lucian met Anna, a historian fascinated by old legends. She spoke of history with passion, seeing life where others saw dust. Lucian, drawn to her warmth, found himself revealing truths he had hidden for centuries. Anna did not recoil in fear when he confessed a secret. Instead, she studied him with wonder. "You've lived through everything humanity has ever known," she whispered, "and yet you're lonelier than any man alive." Slowly, she began to care for him, not as a monster, but as a soul burdened by eternity. Lucian, against his fears, let himself care for her too. For the first time since Elise, he felt alive. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of gold and violet, Lucian knew this was a moment. He offered Anna a silver dagger in his hand. "Only you can free me," he said, his voice trembling. Anna held the dagger, her hand shaking. "If I do this, you'll be gone forever." Lucian nodded. "I've been dead for centuries. Let me finally rest." Tears welled in her eyes, but she understood. Under the twilight sky, where day kissed night, she pressed the blade into his chest. Instead of blood, a crimson light poured from him, glowing like fireflies in the dark. Lucian felt no pain, only peace. As the light consumed him, he whispered, "Thank you." His body dissolved into ash carried by the evening wind, but Anna swore she saw his eyes one last time, gentle, free, and finally at rest. From that day on, legends of the vampire who couldn't die faded into whispers. Some say Anna kept a vial of crimson ash close to her heart. Others say Lucian's soul was reborn into another life, free from the curse. But one thing was certain. At twilight, where night and day embrace, eternity finally released its prisoner.